Hey everybody, in this video I'm just going to run you through how to log and track your nutrition. So I'm going to be starting with MyFitnessPal, and as a side note, this is going to be run on a Samsung phone as well. So the interface is going to be slightly different if you have an iPhone or Huawei or Pixel or any other different device. I know that their interfaces can be slightly different and can change, but we've got the screen recording off to the side here that will hopefully give you some index or some context into what you're looking for. So first off, if you don't have MyFitnessPal, that is the one that I'm using because it's the most common one that I find people are using. And it also just seems to be the most interface user-friendly one that I've seen, even though I hate their algorithm. But watch the video so that you understand everything as to why I'm doing it, and I'll actually give you some feedback on why I do the things the way I do. So first thing you're going to need to do is go to App Store, Google Play, whatever. If you don't have it, type in MyFitnessPal, and that is what we're after. The second one down there, MyFitnessPal, food and, I don't know, freedom, does it say? No fucking idea. Food and fitness, there you go, food and freedom. Why would it be freedom for MyFitnessPal? Anyway, once you've got that installed, if you do, then fantastic, we're moving on to the next step. If not, create an account, log it all, follow the steps, do all that. Once it's done, open. When you're on this interface, you will be seeing the dashboard. So when you're seeing the dashboard, I've already got my numbers and everything in there from, I think, like 4 years ago. I honestly don't use MyFitnessPal anymore. I don't track calories anymore. If I am to be tracking calories, I'll use a different app that has a wilder interface that I know no one is going to use because it's also $19 a month. So let's just focus on MyFitnessPal for right now. So the way that you're going to set your targets, you're initially going to set your targets. We would have given you a spreadsheet that has calories and macros on it. If you're only doing calories and protein, fantastic. If you're doing all of them, I'm just going to show you how to do all of them, and you can adjust for whatever target that you are doing as well. So this is the free version. If you want to go premium, you can. It unlocks some features, but I honestly don't think it's necessary to go premium, especially for just tracking calories and macros. So the first place that you want to go is either in the very top left, you can see your profile, and that will open up this. I'm going to run through this method first off. You can go to your profile, and then in the top right-hand corner, you will also see the settings icon. Click on that. The second one down for me is going to say My Goals. When I tap on that, under Nutrition Goals, I was about to show you my phone, but you can probably see it up here. Doing well. Under Nutrition Goals that you can see is right here. You're going to see Calorie, Carbs, Protein, and Fat Goals. We are going to select that one. And then when you are here, if you've got the premium version, it will unlock like daily goal that you can see at the bottom here. Wouldn't worry about it. You can if you want to, because they're good for maintenance days, low days, but we're not going to worry about them specifically for a challenge. So for this one, calories, for example, I'm just going to give myself very easy math argument's sake. Let's just say I'm a part of the challenge and Laura has put me on 2,000 calories. I'm just going to put in 2,000 calories. There we go. And if you're on the free version, it will not let you pick specific grams that you are after. We would have obviously given you specific grams. You just match the percentages up. And how you do that, for example, we click on the carbohydrates. So first off, that's the first one we're going to be doing. Carbohydrates, let's get that down to where we want it to be. And let's just say I'm on 200 grams of carbs. That actually worked out insanely well. Look at that. Look at us go. 200 grams of carbs. You know what? Let's change something else. We're on 185 grams of carbs. And the next one that we can pick, if we could be on 37%, fantastic. But unfortunately, that's not where we are. So if we're on 185 grams of carbs, just pick the one that you want to be going for. I would be setting it as, where is it, 175? I'd probably be going for 175 because it's only 10 grams away. So I know that if I hit my carb goal, that's going to be pretty damn close, probably single digits away from hitting the actual target that I want. And I love setting goals that are, if I need to exceed this, because it is a goal, please keep that in mind. The nutrition targets that we are setting you are targets for a reason. They are goals for a reason. They are not a red line, do not exceed this number. That is what we actually want to see you consuming. One thing that is good to remember is we operate off the 10% rule. I don't know if anyone has actually talked about this or done it. It's just something I made up a while ago because I found that it was taking away a lot of stress, pressure, and overwhelm with people hitting their targets, and we still saw amazing results through the transformation program. So the 10% rule is basically whatever targets that you have, you can eat within plus or minus 10%, and it's going to be good enough for us to see. For example, I've got 2,000 calories that I can consume. If I'm somewhere between 1,800 and 2,200, if I'm in there, more than likely going to balance out to average 2,000. So you don't have to hit that number on the dot. You just have to be within the ballpark. For right now, within 10%. If you're feeling really good, maybe get it down to 5%, which would mean I'd go from 1,900 to 2,100, tighten things up a little bit. So start with a range that you have. We often start with a 10% plus or minus range. So from here, I've got 185 grams of carbs that I need to get. So I'm going to set that as 175 for the percentage here. Protein, I don't really want to get up to 175. Let's say that I'm on 125. Let's say I got given 130 grams of protein. I'm probably going to go for that because that's going to be a lot closer than the 150. So the good thing from this is when you're on percentages, it's more than likely hit the protein first. Like I would recommend actually setting the protein goal first as, for example, set it at the 25%. So then what we have to do is just make this bottom number down here. You can see that it's 95%. It's not going to let us continue unless it's 100%. So what we're going to do is just bring that up to 175 grams of carbs, 125 grams of protein, 88 grams of fat. That's 100%. I'm pretty happy with that. The numbers on that would probably look a little skew-if just from this compared to the spreadsheet that you would have seen, because we typically just go, for example, 120 grams of protein, 150 grams of carbs, 55 grams of, we're very like on the fives because it just makes everything so much simpler. On the percentages though, you will get some funky numbers like the fats being 88 grams, and that's totally fine. So pick the percentages that are going to be as close as possible to the goals that you're after. Set the protein goal first because that is going to be the ultimate thing that is going to satisfy your hunger, recovery, sleep. Protein is super, super important for dieting. From there, I'm going to obviously hit the tick. One thing you may have noticed is that in here, it doesn't have fiber. We cannot track fiber in here, and that's because it's not considered a macronutrient, which is totally fine. There's actually no, you can put a like an additional nutrient goal in here, in which case the fiber, you can adjust that and put in 30. But I do know that some of them, depending on what app you use, may not have this, and that's completely fine. You don't have to put fiber goal in there because it won't actually show up in the diary that you see every single day. You will have to go into your settings, into your diary, and like go into it to look into your numbers to find that fiber goal. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So now that that's all set up, the other way that you can do it as well, just as a little quick one, just on the Samsung, in the very bottom right down here is, well, in the very bottom right down here, you can see it says more. If you tap on more, scroll down a little bit and it will have goals, tap on that and it takes you to the exact same spot. So whichever one works best for you. Once they are set, where are we? Log your food in its raw form. There we go. So now that that is set, did it actually set? It did, fantastic. So once that is set, go to the dashboard. I'm assuming that's just going to be where I can start logging food. Okay, cool. That's where I can start logging food. Or in the bottom left-hand corner here, you can search for a food. You've got the barcode scanner, or you can open up your diary. And this is where most people do tend to add their foods in, because big old ones that constitute it, wow, that put it into breakfast, lunch. Fuck off intermittent fasting. No, we actually want to be healthy with food. Fuck off MyFitnessPal. All right. As you can tell, this challenge is going to be wildly different to things that you've done before. So breakfast, you can add it in there. Lunch, dinner, snacks. You can also customize these. If you want to, you can track your water as well. I'm actually going to touch on this really quick right now. You can see in the middle here where it says calories remaining. My God, calories remaining. 2,000 as the goal, minus 0 food. And if I obviously put any sort of food in here, let's just add a food. Let's just chuck in one of these things here. Let's just chuck that in. There we go. So that was 214 calories that I've just logged. And now obviously that says food. It is the food that you've consumed through the day. 2,000 minus 214, which is the food that we've consumed, plus exercise. Do not connect your steps. Do not connect any of the shit that you will see in here in terms of steps, exercise, none of it. Don't want it. The reason that I don't want you to do that, a lot of reasons, but the big one is I don't want you to go into your diary and then say, oh my God, I've eaten 3,000 calories today. Why have I done that? You may have gotten 20,000 steps in on that day or done something incredibly strenuous, and it has added that in to be like, hey, you burned this many calories today through activity. You can eat that many calories. I don't want you to get into the mindset of, oh, if I do more physical activity and burn more calories, I can earn more food. I do not want you to get into that mindset. It is very dangerous. It can lead to a slippery slope, and it's a pain in the ass. Even I've gotten caught in that, and obviously that's why I preach what I preach, because I've been stuck in a lot of these things as well. So it is very subtle, but it is also very powerful. So do not connect any of your physical activity things. We want this to be pure focus on the food, because the way Laura and I would have calculated your needs or your nutrition targets, we would have already taken into account your physical activity. That is also what most calorie online calculators or anything like that, they also ask for your physical activity. And that already brings out how many calories you should be eating at a deficit or a maintenance or whatever the calories are going to be doing. We're more than likely, based on your questionnaire that you've sent us, already accounted for your physical activity. 99.99%. Actually, I can be it's 100%. It is 100% of the time we account for physical activity when giving nutritional targets. So don't worry about connecting any of that shit there for exercise. We don't want you to get into a burn it to earn it type of mindset. This is just purely how good do you feel on these particular numbers. The more consistent you are with these numbers, it takes out the variability of, okay, cool. This was 5,000 steps. This was 9,000 steps. This was 2,000 steps. We don't have to worry about what your activity was in terms of calories burnt. We can just look at how many calories did you consume, because that's going to end up equating for about 85-90% of your energy input or output, and just if you're going to be losing weight or not. It will 85% of it be regarded to, oh my God, be based on nutrition. Not doing very well. I am not doing well. So don't connect any of those. Fantastic. And when you are logging food, let's just say for dinner, let's say I've logged all the other stuff. For dinner, I'm going to press on add food. And what have we got in here? So I'm assuming this is stuff that I've already eaten before. French vanilla creme. I don't know if that's me or not. But anyway, it must be because it's from Nitro Tech. Any whoosies, you can log all your food. So I'm just going to type in chicken breast, because that is the most common one that we get. If you do not find any to be like, oh my God, for example, these are the ones that have come up from history. There we go. Chicken breast schnitzel, crumb chicken breast schnitzel, tenderloins, chicken breast schnitzel, all of it. You can go chicken breast raw and take a look at it. If I take a look at this, me personally, if I'm looking at a chicken breast and it's about 30 grams of protein for 100 grams, I know that's pretty spot on. Sometimes they're about 27, I believe, is the sort of average. But one thing you can do, if you are confused with this, because I am not here to get you to know everything about your food or whatever it is, you can Google chicken breast and just look at the nutritional value and just see what it pops up with. And it's probably going to be close enough to what we're after. If you want to be more technical with it, you can also Google 3 different brands of chicken breast and just average it out. And then you can also edit in this app as well to say, or to better represent the average of what numbers that you've got. Those are 2 different ways you can do it. The other way, which is super important and super easy, is you can use a barcode scanner. So on the right-hand side here, you can see that it's got scan a barcode. I'm going to tap on that and it will bring up the video of me. Look at that. Look at us go. So for the demonstrations of this video, I have chicken snackos. So I'm going to be scanning these through chicken snackos. They're fucking awesome. They're Aldi, they're cheap as shit, and they're really good. So let's see what barcode it's actually going to accept. It's not going to accept that one. What about this one? There we go. And that'll start searching. Fantastic. No matches found. So if that happens, this is actually a really good example. If that happens, try again to get it on the actual barcode and see if it pops up. If it doesn't, that's totally fine. There we go. So it actually tried to scan. This is going to be super random, but it actually tried to scan. It saw the barcode, but then it also saw these numbers up here and it added those to the barcode because I just saw it before. It started with a 5 something and there is a 5 in this one. And that wasn't actually the barcode. So it can pick up different numbers from different things. That is why it is super important. Scan it again, make sure it pops up. And obviously, as you can see on the screen, it has pretty much popped up and said it's putting it in dinner, which is totally fine if that's not where you want it. Click on the dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, wherever you want it to go. In this case, I'm just going to put it into snacks. Number of servings. When you are logging the barcode, take a look at the nutritional table. That is going to be, that's going to be somewhere on the thing, on the food, and it is going to look roughly like that. So I'm going to double check that what is on the screen in front of me as to what it has scanned in matches the nutritional table on the side of this. Nearly just threw Snackos all over me. 119 calories. So first off, the thing I'm looking for, servings per package. Nope, serving size, 25 grams, which is approximately 8 crackers. On the screen, I can see it's already got the serving size as 1, which is 8 crackers for 25 grams. That matches up. We're off to a good start. Calories, 119. Yep, that matches on there. Carbs, 15.8. Yep. Protein, 2.2. Fat, 5. Perfect. That was amazing. Pretty spot on. So what we're going to do is in the top right, we are going to hit that tick, and you'll see it'll just get added in for the snacks. That's how we're logging if you have a barcode scanner. If you do not have a barcode scanner, then all you need to do, add food, search it up, and let's just type in, whoa, that's not how you spell that. Is it a C? No, it's just a K. Of course not. It's Aldi. So why would it be spelled correctly if it's from Aldi? So from history, obviously, I've just scanned it in, so it's just there. We can see that it's Snackos, but if not, I'll just search all foods for Snackos and see what comes up. Now, I know it's Demora because I can see that's the actual brand name. Oh my God. That is the brand name up the very top of there. I can see that that is Demora, and all the results that you can see on that side are coming up and showing Demora as well. So if it was barbecue or cheddar or pizza or whatever, I would just make sure that the nutritional table matches what's on the box as to what is going into my phone. If they are very similar or the exact same, fantastic, we're killing it. If not, you can always adjust it slightly. Let's just say it came up and it said that it was actually 100 grams. If you want to, you can make a custom food and you can do all that. I'm not going to run through that in this video. If you want to, you can make a custom food. That is kind of annoying. I can show you how to do that later. But in terms of making it simple, you can also just adjust the serving sizes. If you know that you had, for example, 16, 10 crackers. You had 10 crackers and that is 25 grams. You can either weigh it out and say, cool, well, that's probably going to be 35 grams. You can weigh it out using a digital scale, which, by the way, please get a digital scale. They give more accurate results. And I'm just going to log that as 35 grams. Regardless of how many biscuits that is, I'm going to log it as 35 grams because it was 35 grams. If it was 12 biscuits, for example, and you don't want to fuck with that, you can leave it as the serving size of 8 crackers at 25 grams, and you've had 12, you can log that as 1.5 servings because half of 8 is 4. You've had 12, 8 plus 4, 1.5 servings. Save, and it will pop up there for you. So yeah, that is how you log food. And if something obviously doesn't, you just search it in. And like I said before, for the chicken breast, log it all in its raw form. I can't spell today. There we go. Log everything in its raw form because cooking methods can also alter the weight of the food. For example, if you boil a chicken breast, it's going to be holding onto a lot more water. It's going to expand slightly, which means if you were to chuck it on the scale afterwards, you would get maybe a 200 gram chicken breast that has expanded to 250 grams, as opposed to if you air fry the chicken, it may shrink down a little bit because it's basically frying it. That may shrink down, and that 200 gram of raw chicken breast has now turned into 160 grams. So there are a lot of variables that come to the cooking methods. Easiest way to do it is to basically log it in its raw form. So that way you can just log everything before you start cooking. You don't have to worry about, oh, this was for raw chicken, that's for cooked chicken. It's at the start, it's super easy to just put a bowl on, set it as 0, chuck all the shit in, cook it all, and then you're all good to go. The last thing that is not exactly through an app, but basically if you want to, now where is this? I think it was in the diary add food. There it is. Up the top. So this is up the top for me, obviously different devices, it'll be somewhere else. You can go to My Meals and you can create a meal. You can go to recipes, you can create a recipe. Now, what do they do? If you are to recipe name, test food, servings, let's just say we're making a breakfast loaf of sort with a whole bunch of fucking seeds because Beth has just started making that with a whole bunch of seeds and it's a massive thing. And the recipe that you followed online said this makes 10 serves that equal out to about 150 grams or whatever. But you've got a big thing in front of you and that's going to equal out 10 serves eventually. Cut it into 10 equal slices and then you're all good. So we can do that. If you want to bulk import ingredients, you can chuck them all in there and they will start coming up exactly the same as logging food would. I'm not going to go through this whole thing and add an entire thing in for you. It's going to import them one ingredient at a time. And then at the end of this, like if I am to just click on next and do all of that because I haven't added any ingredients, at the end here, it will just sort of tell me, okay, cool, you're making this recipe. This recipe is 1,200 calories. Per serve, because there's 10 servings of it, that means if you have one serve of this, it's 120 calories. So now when you go to log that in, I would only have to go to breakfast and I would just have to search seed loaf. Let's just say that's what I called it. Seed loaf, that is something that I've already got, and then it's imported, ready to go. And if you're going to have that 10 days in a row or for 10 servings, probably going to be a lot easier to do that. And then I can just hit seed loaf, log it the exact same way that I have in this video, and then it is all good. So I know this video went for a lot longer than the other videos, but hopefully that sort of gave you an understanding as to how to log and track food. Track it all in its raw form. Do not connect your activity steps to it. And yeah, that's basically it. Set your nutrition targets, log your food in its raw weight, and don't connect your exercise to the nutrition app, whichever one that you are using. And then also, if you're using the barcode scanner, please make sure that a nutrition table matches what is going into your phone. If you have any questions on any of that, please let me know. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.